Baie dankie weer eens dat jy ingeskakel is Toekomsvenster en ons is so dankbaar dat ons aan mekaar verbind is, né? Ons gaan nou maar 'n boek aan julle bekendstel en dit natuurlik weer gratis weggee. Julle weet mos, dis wat ons normaalweg doen. En die boek se naam is Ons behoort aan mekaar. En dis 'n boek wat geskryf is deur Dr. Snell. Nou dit is inderdaad so. Ek ken nie noodwendig vir jou nie en jy ken nie noodwendig vir my nie, maar ons behoort aan mekaar. En wat is dit wat ons aan mekaar bind? The blood of Jesus. The blood of Jesus binds us together. And we often sing that song in our church and in our worship services. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together. And we love that song. And when we get to the chorus, people take one another's hands. So they stand with their hands upright in the air. And we declare our unity in Christ Jesus. What a wonderful privilege to be part of His body. So thank you so much that we can journey together. And this program's name, as you know, is Future Window. Stay tuned. I've got two guests. Yes, today we've got two guests. And there's much to be learned. Nou, my twee gaste wat hier by my is twee jong manne en ek is so dankbaar en hulle het 'n hart vir jong mense, so ons gaan 'n bietjie met hulle saamgesels. Baie welkom Gert van der Merwe en Janko Mokke. Ons is so bly dat jy is. Nou die verhoog is julle sin. Gert, vertel ons van jouself asseblief.
Janie, dit is lekker om hier saam met jou te kuier. Jy praat van toekomsvenster, nee. Ons sê die jeug is die toekoms en die toekoms is nou.
Ja.
En ons het hierdie organisasie FutureNow Youth Mentors Association.
Ja.
En die doelwit van FutureNow is om te sê, weet jy wat, ons het so 26,000 skole in die land. Stel jouself voor, meer as 14 miljoen jong mense wat in skole is. Hoe bedien die kerk hierdie jong mense?
Some of these statistics need to be repeated, because unless you for a moment ponder just the scope of the work, 26,000 schools, and how many million young people?
More than 14 million.
That are at schools level.
At schools,
because I know in terms of the South African population, it is said that approximately 60% of our people are relatively young.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it depends where you draw the line.
Yes.
But I believe it's between 16 and 35 years, about 60% of our population.
Yeah. So of that part, 14 million, more than 14 million in school, and you can imagine in the school context, the youth are open to experiences. They are the brain develops at that stage, and they learn the most in those school-going years.
Yeah.
And we've got the opportunity to make a difference in their lives. And we know that the schooling is not as good as it's supposed to be.
Yes, yes.
But FutureNow says we have to really go in and develop them and focus on life skills, focus on leadership skills, and obviously bringing Jesus to them and saying that there's more to life than just the relationship with your parents and your friends.
Yeah.
You can have a relationship with God.
Janko, tell us about yourself, please, and the position that you have within this initiative.
I have the wonderful privilege of being a part of this organization in the training and the out there part of it. I have the privilege to be able to build the relationships and the partnerships with new schools and new churches and individuals that want to get involved in the program. So I meet a lot of new people every day, and so we have, like Gert said, a lot of work to do, and there's so many schools to get to. So my opportunities are endless.
I was thinking about the name FutureNow, and as you know, this program's name is Future Window. Future Window says we look at the future. We do not exactly know what is going to happen. We know God is in the future. We try to discern what the future may bring, and we try, by God's grace, to prepare our people, ourselves, through discipleship material, etc., and so on. And then when I thought about future now, I love the word, and you said the youth is part and parcel of what's happening now. The youth is the future, and the future is now. But I also heard another thing in my mind when I thought about it, and that was the future, prepare for the future now. So that when the future does happen, and it's going to happen, that we are not unprepared for it. So I don't know whether I could just give you this new,
So the influence we have on the youth will compound and have make a difference in the future.
Most
because
definitely,
the young
yes.
people now will be the leaders of tomorrow. They will be the parents of tomorrow.
Yes.
They will be the workforce of tomorrow.
Correct.
So what we do now will have a profound impact on the future. And the responsibility the church have to really go and do that and work with these young people. The schools are actually open for church to be involved.
Yeah.
And FutureNow we want to help churches to get involved in a responsible way, because it's not about going to the school and getting kids to be part of your parish.
Yeah.
It's actually to be missional, to say we have to get to the heart of the kids, and not only bring them the gospel and bring them the love of Christ, but also to prepare them for the future. And something that as a church we normally don't do very well is preventative work.
Yes,
We're very good at trying to fix problems. So you have marital problems. Let's help you with your marital problems. But what about preparing the kids to have a healthy marriage before they get married?
Yeah.
How about giving them the leadership skills before they are in leadership
Positions, yes.
What about telling them about the calling God have for them with regards to their position, the job they will have one day? What's God's perspective on that? And giving them the skills and prepare them to be healthy individuals in the future now.
So your approach is holistic and it's comprehensive, and it includes all those what they call intelligences, in other words, emotional and spiritual and social and political and economical, and which is so very, very important. So how do you do this in practice? I can't imagine that you two visit all the 26,000 schools in South Africa. So you'll probably go to local communities and get people trained and prepared to address the need in the local schools. Please give us an idea.
So that's basically what FutureNow will do, is we will go to a church and to a school, and we will help them to create partnerships. To say, let's place a youth mentor, a full-time youth mentor, or maybe a part-time youth mentor in the school context to build relationships and to do these preventative work in the school context. And now this youth mentor needs to be mentored because it's a new context. It's something new for them to do. And that's what FutureNow, what we do is we train these people, we create the partnerships, train them, and then we guide them in the process of to be active in the school context and to make a difference. And Janke can tell us a lot more about the practice of training these youth mentors to make a difference.
Please, Janke.
The inside, the theory was easy enough to sell to someone, but then the questions come, especially in the school context.
Yes.
So you place someone permanently to just be with the kids, to just
Yeah.
support them. And from a teacher and a principal's perspective, we understand that makes absolutely no sense.
Yes.
And questions like, how do we pay them?
Yes.
What's the growth in this process? So that was the kind of stuff we had to figure out.
Yeah.
So we had the privilege of working under a congregation that said, let's go do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were there, and we learned from all our other partners, because there's a few organizations in the country that do place youth workers in schools.
Yes. Yes.
Our approach is more of a community-based approach, in the sense that we empower the community or the church or a congregation to be the mentor, like Gert said, for a
particular school.
Youth mentor in a school.
Yes.
So that we try to, not always possible, but our goal is to partner one church and one school to take care of one another.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the youth mentors in the school, we found that in terms of building relationships, it's not something you can measure. So we needed to find ways to help them and guide them. How do you build a relationship? You're a grown-up, and if they're young and energetic, there's young guys that want to change the world. We're like, cool, let's channel that into the school context. And now you're in the hallways, you're on the field, and a bunch of kids, they're doing maths and Afrikaans and they English, and they're running around.
Yeah.
And how do you become a part of that system? How do you live in their context? How do you understand what their struggles are? How do you be a part of their everyday and build a relationship in those ways? You be visible, you be involved, you be available.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of things that we train our guys to be, that they're there. And then to build on that is, how do you develop them? And that's why we found that mentorship and leadership it's how you do stuff.
Yeah.
And when we started journeying on what that looks like, we found that it's a model that has been coming for way before Jesus even.
Yeah.
It's how Jesus did things. So we found...
He mentored people, spent time with them, mentored them,
Paul
and so on.
went around and mentored people. So we're like, okay, cool. So I think we're in the right lane here.
Yeah, yeah.
So we explored the whole mentorship principle, how to mentor. What exactly does it mean to journey with a kid? And what does that logistically look like with one person in a school of 800 to 1,500 kids?
Yes.
So from there it was just tackling the next challenge, and the growth in the last 10 years has shown us that there's a need for a person to step into that void, because the child needs a grown-up, a therapist, a social worker, a teacher. The child needs love.
Yeah.
He needs someone to just hear him. Whereas most of the systems at this stage, the social workers and the psychologists, the teachers, the parents, have certain goals, which we understand. They have certain stuff they have to complete. And we found there's this open space between where the kids are and where the systems are. And the mentors locked into that space. And the growth was phenomenal. What happened in schools in terms of discipline, culture, our kids perceive their school. If you'd hear a high school learner especially say, "I hate my school."
Yes.
And then the youth worker is available in that space as not a friend,
Yes.
but a mentor that can speak into that situation and ask a question like, "Who is your school that you hate so much?"
Yeah.
Let's say a bunch of you were not here.
Yeah.
Who would the school be? And it gets them thinking that I am the school, I am the church. This is about what I bring to the table, and we have kids running through those processes instead of just rebelling against it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So growth has been measurable.
So it's a win-win situation for whoever becomes part and parcel. The school wins, the pupil, the person, the young person, he or she wins. And the mentor wins, because this is a ministry opportunity. This is his heart or her heart. But it's also a growth opportunity for everybody. Are you welcomed into schools? I know you said that there is a new openness towards the church. Is this basically the church approaching the school and say, we want to be partner with you in the comprehensive helping of the children in order for them to cope with the realities of life? So it comes from a Christian perspective and a church perspective.
Yes. So the bigger picture is we were talking about 26, just a little bit less than 26,000 schools, but we have 56,000 churches.
Yes, yes.
So you can imagine the potential for churches to get involved.
Yeah.
One of the challenges, obviously, there are more than one parish represented in one school.
Yes.
So FutureNow comes as an organization, neutral, bringing the church or other organizations to be productive and helping there. So you have to do it with responsibility, and say we're not there to take kids for ourselves.
Yeah.
We want to come and serve.
Yeah.
So FutureNow as an organization will help the school and the churches to have a decent relationship as to how we're going to do this, so that we do not damage relationships and we do this thing properly. So it's a big responsibility. There's quite a responsibility with regards to how we're going to do this.
FutureNow, in other words, is the facilitator of this process.
Yes.
It's a go-between between the school and the church, and both parties are being prepared for this relationship.
As to how to do it.
How it's going to happen. So you approach, you spend time with the church and prepare them for the challenges on this side. You spend time with the school and prepare them for the challenges, and then you bring the parties together. So does this mean
the process afterwards
and you guide the process to see that it really runs smoothly?
It's not something that we do now and we stop.
And you leave.
Stay involved.
And you stay in a relationship. So does that mean, if I'm trying to just ascertain, how would people respond that are listening and watching this program? They will say, okay, in our area we've got schools. In our area we've got churches, and probably it's a member of a church, or it's the pastor that's listening, or whatever, and so on. But we're not aware of any active participation of our community of faith within the school environment. Let's invite FutureNow to mediate that process, to do the training and mediate. That's what needs to happen.
What we do. So the viewer can contact us at futurenow.org.za and read some more about the organization. Contact us, and we come and we help you either finding the correct school, helping you creating a vision even further than your local school, because we're talking about a lot of schools and parishes maybe in stronger areas financially that can get involved in different areas, in black communities. we can teach the kids leadership skills.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be necessarily a full-time
Correct,
participation,
yes. Yeah.
but we can also train people to have a part-time serving into the school.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
can bring to the school leadership skills, and that's something that the schools desperately need.
Yeah.
And we have a partnership with John C. Maxwell and Equip with these leadership skills,
Yes.
that we can train the kids to have a leadership course,
Yes.
and at the end of it they get a certificate, and that they can literally
Yeah.
put into their CV one day and
Yeah.
show them that they've got leadership skills.
So, Janko, there is a bit of an outline, a curriculum which is presented in the school, so that you don't find that every church simply packs the material
No.
as they wish, but you've got a curriculum and that again is comprehensive and developed for a comprehensive approach.
Yes.
And then that is presented in the school and I suppose the ideal is to have a relationship with that child from beginning. Is it high school or all schools?
All schools.
From the
Primary
beginning
and
for as
high school.
long as possible. If
Yes.
as long as that child journeys through primary school, there needs to be a relationship, and it needs to be picked up when the person goes to secondary
Yeah.
school.
I think in terms of curriculum, just the structure, if I can quickly lay that
Yes.
down, we love to come in, empower the community in terms of leadership development. We train you as a facilitator to run leadership development courses in the schools, which schools love. They said, please come and help our kids be better leaders. Then we help you develop or establish a mentorship culture, how to establish mentors within the school context, your teachers, your parents, learners themselves, or eventually, like we say, first prize is a full-time person in the school, but it's not always practically or logistically possible financially. So we empower the communities to go into the schools with leadership and mentorship structures, safe environments that we create growth for the kids. And then we call it accreditation. We like to include all of these individuals, organizations, congregations in a network of sharing information, who's doing what works, what isn't working, and how can we share what we're learning in different spaces to make sure that everyone is maintaining a certain standard. And in the end, if we can pull it together, we found that too many relationships are being hurt because people are just going in with good intentions, but not necessarily maintaining
wisely.
a standard.
Yes,
So
yes.
FutureNow says, let's pull all this together, let's make sure that we have a relationship with one another, see who's doing what, and then raise that standard, raise the mentoring standard in the school context from the church's perspective.
Gert, I can just think that there is this is so important. I mean, just within a normal atmosphere, this is needed. But South Africa, in many cases, and this is an abnormal society. And in the recent past, I've heard quite a number of talks on radio, on different radio stations, about the fatherless generation. And so because of the past, and let's not go there, but because of the past, you have a wide variety of people, or many youngsters who have never known a father figure. And that is not a cultural thing. I mean, it's with everybody, because some people had to work in an environment where they were removed from home, but then within other cultures, people were climbing the success ladder. So they were also not at home. So it seems like our young people generally is a fatherless generation, and in that mentorship relationship, that can be built back.
Yeah.
That's one of the beauties of what we do. Is yes, parenting is one of the biggest problems we have. We don't have parents, and we have kids not living with their parents anymore.
Yes.
And parenting is mentoring, isn't it?
It's true.
With a deep relationship with the child.
Yeah.
And all of us, we have a need to have the acceptance and the loving relationship with a parent. If we don't have a parent, we're looking for somebody in that. And we find in the school context that children will look for somebody to identify as a spiritual leader, as a mentor. They will always look for that someone. And we can all agree that we all had a teacher at some stage in our life, maybe more than one, that teacher had a big impact and impression on our lives at a critical stage.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that mentor can come in to facilitate that. Yeah. But we work with more than just one mentor in a school. We say, let's create a mentoring atmosphere, a mentoring culture here, Because you can, in reality, only mentor have a deep relationship with so many people. If we look at what Jesus did, he had a deep mentoring relationship, discipleship relationship with 12.
Yeah.
So you have only so much capacity.
Yeah.
So we bring in a peer-to-peer or a parent or adult to child mentoring structure into a school context, where we get more people involved to be a mentor to a child. Imagine having a grade 11 teenager learning the skills on how to be a mentor and walking with a younger sibling or a younger grade 8 kid and teaching him the ropes of life after he's been mentored himself. Imagine the difference that will make in the future.
In closing, Janku, and in a sentence, when I look at the young people in South Africa, I see a challenged generation. There's uncertainty, there's hopelessness, there's joblessness, lack of employment, etc., etc. There's poverty, which is rife within many, many communities. Can these young people be helped? And is this a generation that will take us forward?
Definitely. In a sentence, we believe, and we found internationally, going around and asking and learning, that the previous generation, the older generation, has the perspective. They know, they've been through a lot of these challenges. And the young kids, they're unsure, they don't know where we're going, what's lying ahead. And the gap at this stage is the bridge between those two.
Yeah.
And it's culturally, it's we don't understand one another, whatever the reasons are. And mentorship can be that channel.
Yeah.
Mentorship can be that channel for the young people to find that certainty with the people that knows.
Well, Gert and Janku, thank you so much. I've only started to learn what it's all about. I can see it's a big machinery, but apparently you've worked through it and everything is running smoothly. You know exactly what you are doing, and I'm sure that when people listen and people that have listened will see that they can approach you and they can invite you into their community, into their church, into their school, into their environment, into their adult group, into their parents group, wherever. Because as you said, mentorship is for everybody, irrespective of your age or position. You can be taught, you can be helped to become a mentor for somebody and help that person towards adulthood. So may the Lord really bless you. Your contact details is on the screen, and may your work really go from strength to strength. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. Nou ja, julle het gehoor, mentorskap is 'n belangrike ding. Weet julle wat het my getref? 26,000 skole, 26,000 schools. It's a challenge, eh? It's a huge challenge. But guys, unless the church does what God has called it to do, our future really is going to be desperate. And what a wonderful opportunity, 56,000 or whatever churches in South Africa. Almost twice as many churches as schools. So there's no reason why there should be a school in your area that is not being ministered to comprehensively, and where hands are not taken with the local school and the local church in order to bring about a generation that is hopeful and that can look to the future and can say, but truly there's something to live for in South Africa. So may you be obedient to the call, a Macedonian call, and do contact Gert and Janku and learn how they can help you in this whole process. Ons het weer 'n boekie, ons behoort aan mekaar, Annes Nel, hy is 'n uitnemende skrywer, hy is daar in Belfast in Ierland, maar hy skryf so oor die pos, en hy het vir ons hierdie disipelskapsmateriaal, het hy vir ons voorberei. Dit is 'n 9 weke reis oor liefde wat ons vir mekaar moet hê. En dit wat ons vandag met mekaar gedeel het, is niks anders as liefde nie. Nee, liefde in die praktyk. Hoe lyk liefde in die praktyk? Ons behoort aan mekaar. Ons het so begin. Jy stuur vir ons jou naam en jou posadres en jou e-posadres asseblief na die nommer wat onder aan die skerm verskyn, en sodra ons dit ontvang, die eerste 3, die kry dan so 'n komplementêre boekie met die naam van Ons behoort aan mekaar, Annes Nel. Maar jy het nie nodig om daarvoor te wag in die pos nie. Jy gaan sommer na www.toekomsvenster, www.futureNow.co.za en daar sal jy minstens 12 verskillende disipelskapsmodules vind. Dis almal 9 weke reise, uitnemend voorberei, professioneel, 12 minute 'n dag en dis geskik vir klein groepe en aan gemeentes begin jou eie persoonlike reis deur onmiddellik een van daardie bundels aanlyn te bestel of die telefoonnommer te skakel wat jy daar sal vind. Onthou jy 'n toekomsvenster se app kan aflaai, nê? Wat is 'n app in mooi goeie Afrikaans? 'n Toepassing. You can download 'n toekomsvensters app on your cell phone and you simply go to where you'll find the applications and you download, and on a daily basis you'll find meditations and all kinds of stuff that will enrich your own spiritual journey. Baie dankie weer eens. Toekomsvensters se hart is inderdaad om die gemeenskap te bemagtig, ook veral met skills en opleiding en ons is 'n verskeie gemeenskappe betrokke. Aan die einde van ons program is daar besonderhede, jy kan met ons skakel en jy kan ook vir ons ondersteun om voort te gaan met hierdie werk. Baie dankie vir jou inskakel, mag die Here vir jou ryklik seën, tot 'n volgende keer, alles wat mooi is.
Almal hou daarvan om bietjie bederf te word. Toekomsvenster het 'n maandelikse Christelike pakket saamgestel, waar jy Christelike dagboeke uit ons Toekomsvensterreeks gaan ontvang, geestelike dagboeke van bekende skrywers, CD's, 'n DVD in jou verjaarsdagmaand, 'n daaglikse gedagte vir die dag wat is vir jou e-pos, en dan ook 'n verskeidenheid produkte van spesiale aanbiedinge wat ons ook wel het. Nou dit kos jou 'n skrale R149 per maand, so SMS, bederf, na die nommer toe wat onder aan jou skerm beskei en Jolandi sal jou terugskakel.